The PGA Tour is at a crossroads. CEO Brian Rolapp has unveiled the most radical restructuring in the Tour's history, a two-tier system that will reshape professional golf starting in 2028. But when the man who has been the Tour's fiercest defender speaks out, the entire sport listens. Rory McIlroy has just united the game's biggest stars over what Rolapp changed, and the golf world is demanding answers. Brian Rolapp's plan is simple on paper, but devastating in its implications. Starting in 2028, the PGA Tour will split into two tracks: the Championship Series for the elite and the Challenger Series for everyone else. The Championship Series will feature approximately 20-plus events with fields of about 120 players and purses of at least $20 million. The Challenger Series will be the proving ground, a place where players can earn promotion back to the top tier. But here's the catch that has the golf world exploding. Championship Series players will be barred from competing in Challenger Series events. The Tour is creating a system where the elite play only against the elite, and historic events could be left behind. Rolapp believes this will create scarcity, simplicity, and parity, turning the Championship Series into can't-miss events similar to Formula One or the NFL. Critics see it as a death sentence for tournaments that can't afford the $20 million price tag. The Tour is building a system that outlives any player. But some players are wondering if they'll survive it. When Rory McIlroy was asked about the proposed changes ahead of the U.S. Open, he didn't hold back. He used the RBC Canadian Open, a tournament he has won twice, as his example of everything wrong with the plan. An event like last week, the Canadian Open, potentially going to one of these Track 2s. Track 2 is a glorified Korn Ferry event, McIlroy said. That's what Track 2 is going to be. So I don't think the Canadian Open should be one of those. The message was clear. Historic events with decades of tradition could be reduced to feeder tournaments. And McIlroy wasn't just speaking for himself. He was speaking for the players who built their careers on those events. I just think there's going to be certain events that might lose their stature if a sponsor doesn't pony up $30 million, McIlroy added. The comment was a direct challenge to Rolapp's vision. The CEO had promised to elevate the Tour, but McIlroy was warning that the new system would do the opposite. It would devalue the game's most cherished traditions. The man who once shaped the Tour's response to LIV was now questioning whether the response had gone too far. McIlroy's warning was amplified by the players who call Canada home. If Track 1 players are barred from Track 2 events, what happens to the Canadian Open? A tournament that has been a fixture on the PGA Tour since 1904 would lose its biggest stars. Would Corey Connors, Nick Taylor, and Mackenzie Hughes, three of Canada's most beloved players, be unable to compete in their own national open because they're either overqualified or underqualified? The question has sparked a fierce debate about the future of the Tour's historic events. McIlroy's criticism cut deeper because of his own history. He was the player who helped reshape the Tour on the fly with signature events, smaller fields, and bigger purses. Now, he was watching the consequences of those changes unfold. As Alan Shipnuck noted, McIlroy's opposition is tinged with buyer's remorse. He helped create the system, and now he's seeing Frankenstein's monster rampaging through the village. The man who built the new system is now its most vocal critic. McIlroy wasn't alone in his criticism. The Tour's top players were suddenly singing from the same hymnal, and it was Rolapp's worst nightmare. When asked about the possibility of LIV players returning to the PGA Tour, McIlroy, Justin Thomas, and Xander Schauffele all gave the same answer. They would welcome the best players back, but only if it made the Tour stronger. If it made the overall Tour stronger to have Bryson DeChambeau back and whoever else, I would be okay with it, McIlroy said. It would be up to the collective group of PGA Tour members to make that decision. The media script appeared to have been leaked. Say LIV has great players, you'd be happy to have them back, but it's out of your hands. And getting players to follow that script is Rolapp's greatest accomplishment yet. But the unity on LIV was matched by unity on the two-tier system. Players were united in their concern that Rolapp's vision would destroy the fabric of the tour. The tour's biggest stars are united, but not in support of Rolapp's plan. On June 23, 2026, Rolapp made it official. The PGA Tour would split into two tiers starting in 2028. The Championship Series would feature 120-player fields, $20 million purses, and a 36-hole cut. The Challenger Series would be the proving ground for players hoping to earn promotion. McIlroy's response was carefully calibrated. He released a statement expressing his support, but the support came with conditions. Today's announcement is a positive step for professional golf, McIlroy said. As more details emerge, it is encouraging to see the PGA Tour reaffirming the importance of meritocracy and creating a structure that will serve both players and fans well into the future. But McIlroy also made it clear that he would not be bound by the new system. He has played just 11 PGA Tour events this year, significantly below the 15-event minimum for membership. And as he gets older, he plans to play even less. If the tour demands that he play more, McIlroy might simply walk away. The sponsors who are paying $20 million for Championship Series events expect to see the stars. And there is no bigger star than McIlroy. The man who helped shape the tour's future is already planning his escape. Rory McIlroy has united the top players over what Brian Rolapp just changed. The two-tier system has sparked a debate that will define the future of professional golf. The Canadian Open and other historic events could be relegated to second-class status. The tour's biggest star is questioning whether the changes are worth it, and the sponsors who are paying billions are watching closely. The questions now are impossible to ignore. Will the two-tier system destroy the tour's historic events? Can Rolapp keep his biggest stars happy? And what does McIlroy's rebellion say about the future of professional golf? One thing is certain, the battle is far from over, and the golf world will be watching every move.